Buenos días, tardes y noches, clase de español 2. This is Mr. Moore with our screencast for capítulo 3.1, vocabulario y gramática. Hopefully you guys are having an opportunity to get ahead of things. At some point during the course of this screencast, there will be an extra credit assignment embedded somewhere in here, so feel free to listen carefully, and if it sounds like something that you're interested in doing, we will make sure to give you an opportunity to either share or turn it in at the beginning of class the first day that we meet for this chapter. So let's go ahead and begin right now. Talking about responsibilities for vocabulario. A quien le toca means whose turn is it? Le toca a means it's his turn or her turn. So if you would say, for example, it's his turn, le toca a él. It's her turn, le toca a ella. Me toca a mí, it's my turn. Te toca a ti, it's your turn. So that's just a little bit with talking about responsibilities, basically saying whose turn it is, okay? Some different household chores. Barrer is to sweep. El comedor is the dining room. Some of these I realize are a bit outdated because dining rooms. Okay, el cuarto de baño is the bathroom, the room of bath. El jardín is the garden. Limpiar is to clean. Lo, la, los, and las are what we call direct object pronouns, and they basically mean either it or them. The difference, of course, in Spanish is that you have to be able to make the it or them agree with whatever that it or them may actually be. So if I'm referring to an it and that it was a feminine singular thing, then I would have to say la, not lo. If I'm referring to them and those things were feminine and plural, then I would have to use las to refer to them. Not only does that make it a little bit different, but it also has a placement component to it, which we're going to look at a little bit later. Okay? Lo, la, los, and las, it or them. Ordenar is to order. El piso is the floor. Los quehaceres are chores, that which to do. Quitar la mesa, to clear off the table. Regar is to water, as in regar el jardín, to water the garden. Sacudir el polvo is to dust. Sacudir el polvo, to dust. Tender la cama is to make the bed. Continuing on, complaining. Ay, qué pesado. Means, oh, how boring. Estoy harto de. I'm tired of it, or I'm sick and tired of it. No es justo. It's not fair. Siempre me toca a mí. It's always my turn. Yo ya lo hice 1000 veces. I already did it 1,000 times. So these are just some little complaint fragments that you can use. I realize that I probably don't need to give you more of an arsenal for complaining about doing things, but there it is nonetheless, broadening your horizons. Continuing on to some of the grammatical points for this week. Here we go. Español 2, capítulo 3.2. Let me get this a little bit bigger here for you. There we go. Okay, direct object pronouns. Let's go ahead and begin with that. So earlier on, I was mentioning to you about lo, la, los, and las. So let's just read through this process and see how we do. They usually translate to the words it or them. Now, if someone asks you, for example, ordenaste tu cuarto, all right? Did you tidy up your room? Oh, that reminds me. Ordenar. I think earlier on in the vocabulary, I gave you the word ordenar, meaning to order. It means to make things in order. I apologize. That depending on how you use that, that can mean something totally different. Example right here, ordenaste tu cuarto. Ordenaste tu cuarto. Did you organize your room, or did you tidy up your room? Good thing that we caught that. Good. You can answer C, lo ordené. Yes, I tidied up, or I cleaned up. which is a lot shorter than si ordene el cuarto. So in this case, we replaced the word tu cuarto with the word lo, but I put it in front of the verb conjugation. The direct object pronoun lo replaces el cuarto in that sentence. In Spanish, the direct object pronoun you use depends on the gender and number of the noun it replaces. Some examples. Barrí el piso, I swept the floor, becomes lo barrí, I swept it. Saqué la basura becomes la saqué, it, I took out. Lavé todos los platos, I washed all the dishes, becomes los lavé, them, I washed. So those are just some examples of using direct object pronouns in sentences. We'll have a lot of those happening this week. Continuing on. Oh, let me make this a little bit bigger here for you. There we go. Notice that the direct object pronoun comes right before a conjugated verb. The pronoun may also be attached to an infinitive. Some examples. ¿Vas a limpiar la cocina? Are you going to clean the kitchen? I could instead ask, ¿La vas a limpiar? It, are you going to clean, or are you going to clean it? I could also, since I could attach it to an infinitive, I could also say, ¿Vas a limpiarla? All one word. So there are a lot of different ways that you can work with these. We're going to practice all of them in class. It is at this point right now that I would like to very quickly just go over an extra credit possibility for this week. And for this week, those of you who are interested in doing so, I'd like you to take one note card and write a minimum 5-sentence paragraph on the topic of your choosing. But here's the caveat. Here's the thing that connects it to what we're doing a little bit more. At least 10 words that you choose in your paragraph must be vocabulary that we had on one of our vocab sheets. Has to be designated vocabulary from chapters 1, 2, or 3 for this year in Spanish 2. So you'll have at least 10 total of vocab words. You can have more, but at least 10, and they need to be underlined so that I can pick them out. So one paragraph on a note card of the topic of your choosing, minimum of 5 sentences, minimum of 10 vocabulary words from chapters 1, 2, and 3, and they must be underlined, those vocabulary words. And that's it for a little bit of extra opportunity to work with current and recent material. I hope that you're learning lots, and if you have questions about any of this, remember you can always email me at mtmoore@stcs.org, or you can always call the school phone, or you can always come and see me during the course of the day. Hasta luego, ciao y adios.